You're at table 10.
10? That's right!
John's there now. Patty's staying for 7th to the 23rd. I'll tell him you were asking. Yeah, do that. Tell him John and I said hello and good luck to him. You know? Yeah, there's Richie. The weather turned nice this afternoon.
They don't have any golf outings here.
Oh yeah, there's 2 of them.
Where? Oh, no problem. Well, that's all about just like Finland. They covered everything and stuff like that.
I want to welcome all of you to Maranatha's Evening of Hope. I want to thank you all for being here and for your generous support of Maranatha Carlisle. As all of you know, Maranatha Carlisle is a financial ministry where we assist those who are most vulnerable in our community by providing them with sound financial management services. We're serving about 316 clients as of today, and we could not do that without your gracious support. The services that we provide enable our clients to maintain financial stability while living independently. Most of our clients come to us in financial distress, on the verge of losing everything. With Maranatha's support and some time and patience on their end, we help get them back on their feet using their income. This alleviates so much stress for them and allows them to focus on the things that are important to improving their life situation and enhancing their quality of life. With a stable financial situation, risks for other problems or crises that might occur, such as evictions or homelessness, repossessions, legal concerns, power shutoffs, or hunger, are drastically reduced. We have found that sound financial management and health for our clients addresses the root cause of many issues, and it helps to minimize the need for other community support and intervention services. So you can see how the theme for this evening's event fits with what we do. We could not do this without your support. So again, thank you for being here and welcome to our third annual gala, Maranatha, an Evening of Hope. We hope you enjoy the food, the fellowship, and the music. We have a silent auction. I saw many of you there, so thank you for checking things out and putting in your bids. And let's get started. I'd like to introduce Rich Mullery. He is a retired Air Force colonel and a current board member, and he's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I think we can move this out here so we can get a better view of it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pay honor to probably the single greatest symbol of American unity and hope that has ever existed. Let's do it let's make it strong, let's make it clear, and let's make it loud, if you would. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rich. We all have so much to be thankful for. Next, I would like to introduce Donna Hale, board member and chaplain, to share words of gratitude.
Thank you, Kim, and good evening to all. I'm so pleased to see everyone out here on this beautiful evening. I want to share a few words, well, maybe more than a few, about hope. Some here this evening are familiar with Hope Station, New Hope Ministries, Sarah's House of Hope Recovery, and many other agencies whose mission is to provide hope. And the word hope is much a part of our popular music. Just one example, Leanne Womack's I Hope You Dance. And many of us read and discussed Emily Dickinson's poem, Hope, in high school and learned how the thing with feathers was a metaphor for hope. A dictionary definition of hope is, and I quote, a feeling of expectation and a desire for a particular thing to happen. At this moment, as I stand here, I'm curious just how we extend hope to a person in a difficult situation. What exactly do we mean when we say to someone to just have hope? I know I learned about hope from my mother, who would always respond with, when one door closes, another opens. Which might sound like a cliche, but it worked for me. My grandmother taught me to sing, Keep on the Sunny Side, and she always greeted me in the morning with, Good morning, sunshine. And of course, there was the proverbial, every dark cloud has a silver lining. To me, these positive expressions sounded optimistic. To others, they may sound unrealistic or even trite. Cliche expressions. Some individuals may find these expressions give them confidence to keep on keeping on, hanging in there, go with the flow. Tomorrow is another day, as Annie sang, and as Scarlett O'Hara said, I'll worry about that tomorrow. These adages may make us confident enough to wait for change. Everything is going to be okay. Hope springs eternal. All these expressions are researched now in the field of positive psychology and gratitude studies. Having confidence helps us pass that test. Someone will help me study. Let's form a study group. If in recovery programs, people are encouraged to talk to their sponsors, they're asked, what step are you on? Have you talked with someone about a ride to get to the AA meetings? Have you asked for help? Have you shared with someone? Have you asked what you need, what they can do to help you with your need? People will help. People are encouraging, and you will receive because they've been where you are. They know how it feels to be discouraged and powerless too. They've been where you are. When we feel discouraged, if we share our problems, someone is there to listen. Maranatha listens. And the tides will change. They do change, but it takes work and time to accomplish success. Someone recently shared with me that HOPE, H-O-P-E, means helping others plan expenses. And this an acronym, I feel, perhaps describes what Maranatha does. Helping others plan expenses. And the person who did that, who said that, was not even a member of Maranatha or an associate, so he knew what it is. That really piqued my curiosity to find out what hope means to others. So I decided I would ask some people, and I asked 10 at different times to use H-O-P-E as an anonym and create a phrase that uses this anonym. So these are the ones I came up with. And they all relate to success. And I had nothing to do with what these people said. I actually had them write these things. Number 1, H-O-P-E, hope. Having encouragement provides excellence. That sounds successful to me. Number 2, another person said, having one positive experience equals success. Sounds good to me. Number 3, having opportunities prepares experiences. Once again, success. Number 4, how opportunities prepare people for success. These people are good. Number 5, hearing one possibility expressed. Happens a lot at Maranatha, successfully. Number 6, heartfelt opportunities providing energy. Success. Help offered, people excel. Helping others provides engagement. All success. Number 9, honoring other people's experiences. I love that one. And number 10, and this comes from John Maxwell, and he said, hope is holding on, praying expectantly. In closing, I'll quote Tertullian. He was a first-century theologian, and Tertullian said, hope is patience with the lamp lit. To symbolize hope as a lamp lit, I brought a candle, which is out there, and I'm going to invite our graduating Dickinson College intern, Maranatha's first student intern, Caitlin Filiato, for whose expertise and assistance we at Maranatha are so grateful to light our hope candle. And on behalf, thank you, Caitlin. We can't say enough about Caitlin. So on behalf of Maranatha, I thank all of you who are here tonight for helping us to have this gala and to make our work continue, and for providing hope for all the individuals that Maranatha works with. We are so grateful, and thank you so much.
you so much, Donna. Okay, it's dinner time. And so I want to let you know that the wonderful staff here at the Country Club will let you know when it's time for your table to go to the buffet. The buffet is in the room over here, straight in front of me. While you're also up and around, waiting for your table, don't forget to get your picture taken. We have a photo booth. And make sure that you check out the silent auction items and that you don't get outbid. So, absolutely. So thank you very much. We'll have dinner and then we'll be back with you.
Joan, how are you tonight? Good.
I surrender. I give up. Don't face me.
The words come out to run. Here in my heart, give you the best of my love. You left us so little to give. Same old crowd was like a pillow. Ain't could never ride. Oh, sweet darling, the best of life. Oh, sweet darling, the best of life. I'm going back in. Wake up, love you. It's gonna happen to me. You see, there's a heart.
The sponsors really helped make this evening possible. So thanks to our event sponsor, Don and Margie Mowry and Mowry Construction. Our silent auction sponsor was Members First Credit Union. Live band sponsor was Riverview Bank. Our providing hope sponsors are Orrstown Bank, M&T Bank, Grams, Mid-Penn Bank, Universal Protective Packaging, and Morgan Stanley. Our helping hand sponsors, Boyer and Ritter, J. Powell and Associates, and Daily Express. And our caring sponsors, Craig and Dolly Kern, and Carlisle Construction Materials. So thank you so much to the sponsors. Let's give them a round of applause. Next, I'd like to recognize the Maranatha team, board members and staff. They're the ones that make things happen. So I'd like to start off, when I call your name, board member, would you please stand up so we can see who you are? John Azustowicz, chair. Frank Castrina, vice chair. John Nickey, treasurer. Kevin Lee wasn't able to make it. He's our secretary. Pastor Ryan Brown. Anthony DeLuca. Jason Kreider, our newest board member. Rich Mallory. And last but not least, Donna Hale. And we also have some past board members present this evening. George Shevlin, would you stand please? Paul Strizzi, I know him. And Joan Jones. Joan was on the board for 8 years, and she was also a former executive director. So we thank you for all that you do and all that you've done for our organization. So now I'd like to acknowledge the Maranatha staff, starting with Barb Allen, our receptionist. Stand up. Everyone wants to see who you are. Then we have Mike Herr. He isn't here. He's our electronic records technician. Pam Klein and Molly Bear are account managers. We have some former account managers with us, Peggy Schaub and Deb Hoover. We have Chris Hall, our Assistant Executive Director. Neil Robinson, our Social Service Assistant. And our newest members of the team, Matt Wagner, our Communications and Development Manager, and our extraordinary intern, Caitlin Filiato. I'll tell you what an awesome group. Our PR committee, including Matt and Caitlin, did so much work to make this event happen, and so really, really appreciate all that they've done. We also have a team of amazing volunteers, starting with Joan Jones. Again, she's the founder. She founded Maranatha 16 years ago. She's an amazing lady. We also have Mike, Cheryl, Trudy, Kathy, Eileen, Carolyn, Sue, Susie, and Peggy. And so we thank all of them, staff, volunteers, and the board for all that they do. Now I'd like to turn the program over to Frank Castrina and Tony DeLuca to talk about a very special and new award that is being presented this evening. It's called the Jones and Maslin Maranatha Carlisle Founders Service Award.
Thank you. Before I start, what are these?
Oh. These little things that you got are, if you take the adhesive part and put them on the back of your cell phone, it's a little place to put business cards. Yeah.
All right.
So
okay.
There you go. A little takeaway.
I won't tell you whatever our tablecloth, but nobody even came close. Welcome, and I appreciate everybody coming tonight. I am John O's sort of second-hand man and his go-to guy when he's late for the board meetings, but which isn't often, of course. But the first Maranatha Service Award was to go to Joan, her husband Hugh, and Dr. David Maslin. And then it became quite clear that without them, there would be no Maranatha. So for that reason, we decided to name the award after the founders and make it an annual award. And in this case, the first recipient will be Kathy Bowers, and Tony will make that presentation. Dr. Maslin, oh goodness, he was practicing Carlisle for many, many years. He passed away a few years ago, but we're very privileged to have Mrs. Maslin here and their daughter Kim, who's over there. Joan lost her husband Hugh about 15 years ago, but we're very honored that Joan's here tonight. And in all fairness, without them, none of us would be here tonight. Their dedication and determination was really an outreach of their very strong Christian faith. And it's not, for that reason, it's not unexpected or unusual that Maranatha is described as a non-profit ministry. And I think it very aptly describes us. They spent their lives in the service of others. Dr. Maslin, as a physician for many, many years, who I guess had a weak moment when he hired me, but other than that, I think his career in Carlisle was very esteemed. Joan was so interested in social work. She ran the Church of God nursing home. Her husband, Hugh, was in the Department of Aging, under Governor Thornburg. So you're really talking about people who were committed to helping people who are in need, and I think that represents where they came from. Joan and you and Dr. Maz were long-term volunteers at Samaritan Fellowship, and that's where they hatched this idea. Joan literally was the administrative backbone of that place, and it's an all-volunteer organization. There's not a paid employee, so she's always done yeoman's work. And I think it's there they recognized But some of their clients, hardworking, possibly limited physically, mentally, had enough money to stay out of financial emergencies. But they either were unable to make the right financial and spending decisions, or they were unwilling. And that became, of course, the genesis for their idea to form an organization that would help them make the appropriate choices. Their vision was shared with many community organizations who all embraced it. Their faith and determination and many hours of work is the reason why we're here. As Kim mentioned, we have over 300 clients, many of whom would be homeless, or at least at risk of homeless, if it wasn't that they had the benefit of Maranatha services. And I remember when I was in the practice with Dr. Maslin, we had some patients that would pay $1 a visit, or whatever they could pay. And, you know, we young docs, or Turks as they used to call them, would say, David, why don't we just do it for free? And he said, well, you don't do it for free because these people have personal pride, and they want to retain their dignity of being able to do financially whatever they can do the best they can. And, you know, Maranatha has kept that theme alive. And, you know, we think of it more as, oh, somebody's not homeless, somebody's not thrown out, somebody's not evicted. But in reality, these people are physically protected, but they also experience the dignity of paying their own way, of taking care of themselves, with the help, obviously, of the guidance. And I think that's the thing that is so wonderful about this organization. One of our board members, probably Tony, but he won't never admit it, said something to Joan like, without Joan, you and your husband and Dr. Maslin, there would be no Maranatha. And Joan said, oh, that's not true. Someone would have started it. Well, Joan, you're really wrong. But if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be having this evening of hope, and I assure you that. And so it's with really great respect and admiration and thanks that our board is very pleased to establish the annual Jones Maslin Service Award tonight, and I would appreciate if we all acknowledge Joan and Mrs. Maslin. Tony? Welcome.
Todd Bowers here. Todd?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
When I came on the board a few years ago, Kathy had just recently been appointed as the executive director, succeeding Joan, who was supposed to leave. Has she left yet?
Thankfully, no.
No. And of course, there are always problems when you take over a nonprofit. There were growing pains. It had been nurtured to a point, and now Kathy was taking over it and trying to take it to a different level. But as we all know, in the realm of nonprofits, that five-letter word is always there, money. And that was one of the issues that existed at that time, and as well as the increase in the work that was being done by Maranatha. Now, Kathy had a way of looking at money similar to Bob Beard at Samaritan Fellowship, and that is, God will provide. And I used to argue, God will provide, but we have to try to help it along. But you know God will provide, and over the years, I've learned that I better just shut up because they're right and Tony's wrong. So one of the things that was done was an application was made to the Stewart Foundation, and that I went with Kathy for the presentation, and she did a great job, and as a result we got a very significant amount of money that came at a very critical time in Maranatha. That was followed later by Joan Dickinson, who was a board member and who came up with this idea of this gala that has been so successful. And there have been other things that Kathy was involved in. But her passion was the people. Her passion was helping everyone who came through that front door. No matter how difficult the people were or abrasive, what I could observe was that she would maybe be annoyed, but would stick with these people and do the very best that she could, and she would exhort all of the people under her to treat these people with great respect. And she did. We live in a society where success is measured by stuff, what we have. But in my opinion, that is not success. What is success is what Kathy Bowers and every person who works at Maranatha does every single day to help those who are less fortunate. To help someone be able to maintain an apartment, pay the electric bills and rent, be able to provide food on the table for their children, and a stable environment for them to go to school, that is success. And Todd, to you and to your family, we have great respect for what Kathy did in that area. And in this award, it's in recognition of the founders, the Hughes and Dr. Maslin, of their diligent, compassionate, and lifelong dedication to an altruistic impact on the most vulnerable in the community. The recipient of this award has demonstrated exemplary efforts and given time, energy, and talent aimed at protecting those people most in need of assistance with their finances in our community, as demonstrated by the founders. Todd, it is my privilege to present to you posthumously the first annual Jones Maslin Maranatha Founders Service Award in memory of your wife, Kathy.
Okay, thank you. I did not prepare a speech or anything, but I would like to say thank you to the board and in honor of Kathy receiving this. I humbly receive it for her. And as Kathy would always say, it wasn't just her, that the staff of Maranatha and the direction and help of the board helped her to do the things that she loved to do, and she loved Maranatha and everything that Maranatha stood for. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, we have something special featuring one of our clients, Eric Brochus, and Pastor Ryan, who brought him to us. This discussion, it's a moderated discussion, and it'll give you some insight on Eric's experiences both before and after he came to Maranatha. It'll be moderated by Matt Wagner, and we'll get set up here.
Good evening, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. We're going to take just a minute to get situated a little bit here. See if I'm smart in the microphone. What? Okay. So what I wanted to do, my job here at Maranatha Carlisle is I get to talk to people all the time about the great work that we do. And one of the questions we often get asked, let's see if I can reach it. Yep. One of the questions I often get asked is, what is Maranatha Carlisle's success rate? And Joan will tell you that that all depends on your definition of success. Right? For every person, that's a little bit different. But we talk about success as people who are in a position where they're better off than they were when they came to us. So Eric is one of those people who we've been able to help over the years, and we thought it would be great to kind of hear his story. Pastor Ryan brought him to us a few years ago, but we thought you would like to hear from him about the difference Maranatha Carlisle has made in his life, and he was good enough to agree to come out tonight and join us. So I'm going to shut up, but because you don't want to hear from me. But I just want to kind of go over maybe some questions and find out a little bit more about your story, Eric. Can you tell us a little bit about your family, your hobbies, those kind of things?
Yeah, I have a wife and 2 kids, a daughter who's 4 and a son who's 8. I guess some hobbies, like to hunt, shoot guns for sports. That's really about it, besides liking music and everything.
There you go. So what was life like before you came to Maranatha Carlisle? What were some of the challenges that you were facing when you came to us?
Well, before I came to you guys, it was pretty much paycheck by paycheck we lived by, and even at times with that, it didn't really make ends meet. We thought we had the right idea of trying to get the bills paid and everything, but apparently, we weren't. Right, so we did end up getting evicted. Pastor Ryan here was nice enough to take us in. He introduced us to Maranatha and helped us get back on track, and now we're doing pretty good and all that.
Right. So what year was that you came to Maranatha Carlisle? Do you remember?
June of 17.
17? Okay.
Yeah, I believe it.
A couple of years now. Coming up on 2, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah? Wow. So you heard about us through Pastor Ryan, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Had you heard of us before, or was that your first introduction to Maranatha Carlisle?
That was my first introduction.
Okay. So when you first joined Maranatha Carlisle, when you first came and started using our services, what were some of I know there were some maybe challenges initially. What was that like?
It was rough at first. Like I said, I thought we had everything figured out before, but we didn't. And when we came to Maranatha, they sat us down, said, "This is what you make. Here's what your expenses are," and like opened my eyes up to like, yeah, we don't have all this, money that we thought we had. And I guess the challenge was trying to really just adjust to the new, the new plan of what they want. If this is how it's going to go, and it was rough at first. After a while, I'd probably say 5-6 months later, I noticed it started to get easier and easier, and now it's, it's not the greatest, but it's nice being able not to have to worry all the time.
Sure.
If we're going to eat or bills be paid or anything. So.
Sure. How's having Pastor Ryan and Maranatha Carlisle working with you, how's it improved your situation? How are things different now than they were before you came to Maranatha Carlisle?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How's having Maranatha Carlisle and Pastor Ryan working with you, how has that made a difference? How has that improved your situation?
It improves the situation a lot. I kind of lost words right now.
No, it's okay.
I think so. One of the biggest things is you guys, Eric and Sydney, when they came, I mean, they didn't have a home, and so connecting with us, we were able to work together. So we're neighbors, and
I'm sorry, Eric. You got to be his neighbor. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so really, like having community. So the first, Eric's like kind of understating, like the first 5 months were really, really tough because you're used to working one way and having money, access to it right away to do whatever you want. And all of a sudden now it's like, no, we have to request funds, and that may take a week because some of the staff's part-time, and so it may not happen right away. And so we would literally like sit in the backyard or chat on text and talk about, well, hold on, just be patient, it's going to come. And so for me, being able to walk with Eric, I think there was this place, I'm putting words in your mouth maybe, but where he wasn't alone in it. He and Sydney weren't alone, like they had support and encouragement. And then I was learning along with him, the whole process. And so they were patient with me, and so it really was this give and take and working together and figuring out how to not just be like landlord-tenant, but family and friends. And I remember one of the first things when you guys moved in, you brought over some burgers, for us, and there was this give and take of just being in relationship, and that was I think newer for you, having like that kind of support and relationship, and it was fun for us, for Maureen and I, to be a part of that.
Well, Eric, I know you said about 5 or 6 months in that you really started kind of noticing a difference and noticing things starting to get better. Can you share with us maybe what were some of the first signs that things were improving and things were starting to turn around?
At the beginning, we had a set amount, and it seemed really hard to try to keep up with everything that they had set for us to use it with. And then it just seemed like after months and months of doing it, it just kind of got easier, and we managed to save up enough to where we could get an increase and make it more easier and have a little more funds to keep going. I guess that's really where I noticed that it started getting easier.
Was there something, was there a major purchase or something that you were able to make a few months in that you kind of saved up for and were able to get, if I recall? Was it freezer?
Yeah, actually last year we went to I took the wife out to a 3-day concert out in Ohio.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
For the Rock Fest.
That's great.
That one, it cost a bit, so I think that was a big, I guess like turning point or something, just being able to see, hey, we managed to save up, we can actually go out, have fun, do stuff. I'm actually going back. It's the same concert, it's just called a different name. I'm going out here again in 2 weeks. So
awesome.
It's something nice to know. If I keep going where I'm going, saving up, keep everything going, I can continue it every year and just make something out of it.
Great, that's great. So it kind of leads me into my next question. You have the short-term goal of the concert. What are some of your other short-term or even longer-term goals for the future?
Can I jump in?
No.
Okay.
You're a board member. You can do whatever you want.
I think one of the cool things about Eric and Sydney's story was, when we first connected, Eric had a truck, and it was through a buy here, pay here, bunch of crooks. Oh, did I say that? And so they were upside down big time with that truck, like $7,000. And so one of the first things that was a really hard thing to decide was to give up the truck, to just sign it over, because the amount of payments and the value, it was crazy. And so Eric, that was a big decision, and so he did. He signed over that truck, just let them come and repo it, and bought a $250 Saturn from one of the guys on my staff team, and literally it was hard. I was like pulling teeth, and I thought, oh man, we live next door. We could come home and house is burnt down. But Eric stepped into that, and they're still driving that car literally to today, and they've helped it along and maintained it, and so 2 years they've been driving that $250 car, and so that was a really tough decision. And then hopefully tomorrow,
I'm hoping,
we're praying tomorrow, but literally they've saved up enough money where they're buying a new vehicle tomorrow, cash.
It's a Chevy this time, not a Ford. So.
Yeah, it's a Chevy instead of a Ford, so that'll be better.
Still counts as a vehicle then. So, the last question I have for you here, I know how much you're enjoying this, so I hate to cut it short on you, but the last question I wanted to ask you, Eric, what would you say to someone who was considering partnering with Maranatha Carlisle? What would you tell them about what Maranatha Carlisle has done for you? What would you say to them?
That at first it's going to be, like Pastor Ryan said, extremely hard. I know for a while I thought about just packing up, leaving, just because it was a big adjustment, but pushing through and being where I'm at now, in the end it was worth it, and it still is. Keep going forward, it's still worth it. And other than just it's like the theme of this, just don't give up hope, just keep going. And
that's great. Well, thank you, Eric. I know we've been just amazed at how things have gotten better for you over the past couple years. We have a little bit of something for you here. I'll turn things back over to Kim.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, it's back.
I'll give this to you. So Eric, you've come a long way, and you've done a whole lot to get yourself into a much better place. And there are a lot of very generous people in the world, and in this room tonight, there are two in particular who made a very nice donation to Maranatha Carlisle. They wanted some of those dollars to go into a fund to help clients who have really done a lot to improve themselves, who have really taken a very serious approach to getting themselves in a better place and their family and doing things, you know, just to improve where you are. And so we took this money and we put it into a fund, and the folks that donated it are here. Holly and Carl Martin, over there, please. Yeah. And so tonight, you are going to be the very first recipient of some of these funds. And I understand that you've been in need of a new laptop computer. And so we're going to give you some money from this fund, the Maranatha Momentum Reward Fund, to help you buy that computer. So thanks, Colin and Carl. Super. Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to just briefly say a few things in closing. Take note of the upcoming events that are listed in the program, and mark your calendars if you can attend. The silent auction is still open, and it closes at 9. Don't be outbid. And finally, pardon?
Write legibly.
Yes, write legibly. some of the bids we haven't been able to read. So, and thank you again for your tremendous support. Pastor Ryan, can you offer a benediction, please?
Well, again, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of not just giving to an organization, but changing lives. And I get the privilege of walking in a lot of the pathways with a lot of the people that are a part of Maranatha every day. And so I'm thankful to have a place where we can literally connect people and walk alongside them. And so just from me, I want to say thank you. Let's pray. God, we thank you. We thank you for, as was said earlier, that you are faithful. We thank you that you are also a generous God, and that you have, in and through people, you have blessed this ministry, and you continue through creativity and hard work, prayers of people, generosity. You continue to extend its reach. And we would ask that you would continue to do that. Pray that you would bless and watch over and keep each and every staff member. The work they do is so valuable. Continue to bring encouragement to them as they serve people each and every day. We pray that you would continue to pour out your favor upon Maranatha. That there would be, just again, as I said, an increase. The ability to see people raised up, resourced, and released to live lives that honor you, live lives that where their children are step into a whole new hope. Continue to raise hope. Continue to help us step in hope. We pray these things in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Ryan. And thanks again to everyone. One other thing I forgot to mention, Maranatha is relocating. We have outgrown our space, and we found some new space downtown in Carlisle at 20 North Hanover Street. So July 1st, we will be there. So we'll make sure that we get the word out to everyone, and so that all of our clients and case managers and any of our supporters know where we are. So thank you so much, and let's have some more music. Thank you.
little bit tight on the edges, scoot in, okay? Yep. Take a look here. Yeah. Nice. Good job. Hold that. Good. No, sorry. That's bad. All right, there's number one. You got 2 more to go. Good?
I have my glasses on. Like it's blurry.
Not it. This is Senators tickets and yeah. Okay, there you go. The Best of Carlisle basket goes to Kim Truckenmiller. Congratulations, Kim. The date night in Harrisburg. Okay. Oh, this was the one with the limo ride. This one goes to Holly Martin. Congratulations, Holly. Right. Dorney Park tickets and snacks goes to Matthew Wagner. Lisa. Accepting on his behalf. Accepting on Matt's behalf. The summer fun basket goes also to Matthew Wagner. There you go. This is Nancy Stam's Galleria basket goes to Kim Truckenmiller.
Not Kim Truckenmiller. The one and only. I just like that name.
Thank you. Yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers package goes to John Azustowitz. John O. John O. You won. Congratulations.
Maranatha to me means helping out the community, the people that are truly in need.
Maranatha is a really good organization helping people to get their finances together and get their lives together. We like that.
And I really appreciated the message of hope and gratitude to make sure that people are financially secure.
For those people who have financial problems and have difficulty meeting their bills, you might want to consider Maranatha to help assist you, to help pay your utility bills or rent, and put you on firmer financial footing.
I love working for Maranatha. I love what we stand for. I love that we help people who are in financial crisis, getting them back on track and helping them make their lives better. It's a pleasure and a privilege to work in this organization.
Maranatha is an organization that gives people hope for changing lives.